Okay, so this demo is going to be kind of talking about getting started in your 50 ways video, where you filmed some kind of action or just subject matter, and you were asked to get 50 different shots. And really, what this tutorial is going to kind of go over is what to kind of think about when you're cutting stuff up, and also just kind of re-go over some of the tools that you've already been using, and also maybe discuss some that you haven't used. So the first thing I'm going to do, and really what everybody should do, is get their clips and kind of one by one start dissecting them. So a lot of my shots are maybe a little bit more continuous, and so you're going to see some of the traveling of my, my camera work. So what I'd probably want to do here is, start looking through it. And what I'm actually going to do is go get my blade tool. And from here on I'll probably use the B, which on my keyboard, just to go between that and then A, which is my selection tool, just to kind of easily navigate. So here I'm kind of starting out, and I'm going to kind of see this. I'm going to call this kind of like my establishing shot, and have that maybe pan over. And what I'm kind of looking at here, if you notice in the middle of the screen, I'm just going to click and put my playhead there. If you click in the gray here, it actually will not cut your video. So that right there is at 5 seconds. And that's something important to think about, because you really don't want these clips to last all that long. I would say 5 seconds is probably the longest you would have any one clip go for. I would say anywhere between 1 and 3 is probably going to be more standard, depending on how good the shot is and what's going on in the shot. So at that point, I'm going to actually take my blade and I'm going to go out here and just cut that. So I'm going to have that be one of my shots I'm going to probably use. And then now I have just a transitional shot here that I'm actually, maybe I'm just going to kind of chop this down just to show some different subject matter there. And at that point, I don't even like that second little cut there, so I'm going to go to my A tool, my arrow, and just click on that clip here, because I don't want it anymore. Now it is still saved up here, so I can always, if I choose like later to go get it, I'm going to go ahead and delete that out. Okay, so we have kind of like a nice little establishing shot here, and then it cuts over to this one. And I might mix and match later, but really what I'm trying to do here is get all the garbage out. So there you can see my camera pans down just because I'm setting up a different shot, and I don't like that. So I'm actually going to go and I'm going to blade that right there, and I'm going to delete that middle section. So a lot of what I'm doing here is I'm clicking in the gray to set where I want to stop, and then I'm going to get my blade tool here to cut it up. One thing also that you kind of notice as I skim through here, right, it's showing the different video. That is actually a function. So you have right here your skimming, and you can turn that on and off. You can also decide to turn the audio on and off. I really don't like the audio on when I'm editing, depending on what I'm doing. If I'm really using audio, I think that would be something you would want to think about. So I'm going to go ahead and turn off the audio, but I'm going to leave my regular video skimming on. So looks like we made a cut here. I have just a reflection shot, all right, and it starts kind of panning out. So I'm actually going to put my playhead, just click in that gray area right here, and that sets my playhead. So now I'm going to go down and cut this. All right, and okay, there's some more stuff going on. Let's say I don't like that middle part there, but I like this little chunk right there. So I'm going to cut it there, and again, just delete out some of the stuff that I do not want. Right, so here we kind of transition into a different shot. I'm going to try to keep it a little bit stiller, so I'm going to cut it there. Again, delete out some of these chunks here that I don't need, and I'm just using my hotkeys to get back and forth. So even that right there is kind of like a short clip, and then I zoom in, so I'm actually going to cut out that other little part here. All right. Now I have, we have probably about 5 minutes worth of footage each person. So you're going to need to make some calls. Like this is like a really long clip here, and I don't need all that. Okay, so later on you can make some calls on what you want to do here. So let's kind of see what this looks like. Before I do that, what I'm actually going to do is I could click on any of these clips, and if I right click on it, we have the option to detach the audio. And for this particular video, we're not going to use the existing audio. So if I detach it, you'll see it drop down there. Now, I'm going to click on the green and just basically delete it. And you'll see that the waveform there is no longer showing. Okay, and there's a way to turn that on if you don't have that. So Now I actually want to do this for all these video clips. I'm basically going to just drag select everything here, right click it, and I'm going to detach the audio there. Okay, and that takes out that audio. So now I'm going to drag over my green audio and just get rid of it. Right. One thing, I'm going to undo that just to show you one thing here. You can see that all these clips have like attachments. So say I don't like this video clip and I would detach it. Watch what happens. It's actually going to take this audio clip with it, and that could be a problem depending on what you're trying to do. This is kind of where we bring in another tool, which is our position tool. Okay, and our position tool actually allows us to move video and audio and really put it anywhere we want. So if I wanted to put it over here and just stick it at the end, I can do that, and you can see the audio did travel with it because it was connected, and it created what we call a gap, and which is basically this black video. Now this can actually come in, some use here. We don't want our audio, so I'm just going to delete out all the audio now, and that doesn't affect anything. But now we can go ahead and I can bring these clips back, and I'm just kind of use this end storage area for kind of setting up, how I'm going to edit this. And I still have a lot of video there to go, so we're going to take a quick look at this one and see how this looks. Okay, so no sound. All right, and it's kind of a long shot, so I probably would maybe change that up a little bit. All right, maybe I have that long establishing shot, and I'm going to jump to a close-up. Oops. Now, here's the one thing that I just did. I was using my position tool. The position tool actually sits stuff on top of video, so it's not just going to slide it in there. It's actually going to cover it up. So I'd actually want to switch it back to my arrow tool instead of the position tool to slide video in between places. So there, see how it opens it up there, and then we can slide that in. Okay, so we go to this establishing shot, and then bam, it's a close-up, and then I'm probably going to take this establishing shot out of there and just keep it in the back here. Let's see what's the next one. Nice little reflection, and then I'm going to have to make a call and just delete this one. I don't think I'm going to need it. And then we'll go back to another close-up. Okay, so I'm basically just, taking all these little clips here. I have a small pan there. It's kind of nice. All right, and just kind of arranging them, how I think that this is going to look best. Okay, and obviously I still want to keep it in sequence. If there is a significant sequence, like here, my son gets his bib put on, and then he starts eating. So you probably want to keep that in some kind of logical sequence as you edit as well. So now let's kind of show how far. Looks like this first shot is almost 5.5 seconds, which is getting a little bit long. I'm going to keep it because I think it's kind of a useful establishing shot. And then we're going to cut here. Jumps over, jumps up to the reflection, cuts away again to this little tilt up, and so you kind of want to mix that up. I probably wouldn't want to go from like one close-up to another angled close-up. I maybe would go find something else. I mean, you could go with this one. I know there's a shot of just a cup that might be actually kind of useful. So maybe I bring this one down. And you can actually edit stuff up here too. So it doesn't have to just be down in that master storyline, which is lower. So I'm going to go ahead and just take a chunk out of this. Not super long, and use my arrow tool to slide that in. So let's see how that looks. All right, nice little pan up. Again, that's kind of a longer shot, but I kind of like it. Now this has the audio still in it, so I would actually have to go back and detach my audio. Again, click the green only and delete it. And at some point, one of the things we've already talked about is our transitions. So this would be maybe a good time to start messing with some of your transitions that you have. So it could be, just a directional one. Let's just see what this one would look like on here. Let's see if it lets me drop it on. All right, let's see what that looks like. And not every clip's going to need a transition, but it could be kind of useful. So I'm just kind of using my zoom in here to get a little bit closer and check out my my transition, and I'm going to open it up into that precision editor. So you can see here it says close precision. I just double clicked. Sometimes you'll see the precision editor down there, and then I'm just going to drag out this clip to make that transition last a little bit longer. Go ahead and close it down. You'll be able to see your transition. If you don't like it, you can just delete it. So just click on it and hit delete. So let's see what this looks like now. Let's give it a shot. Changes over. Then nice dragged out transition to the next clip. Okay. So I do want you to have some transitions in there, but other ones might just work with you know, that quick pop. Like I think this one, I might actually cut that one a little bit sooner. And transitions, you can control the speed too. That one has a nice little pop to it, popping up. But if you know you don't like that, you know, go ahead and mess with something else. So let's try like a Gaussian blur on there. See how that one looks. It blends in. Okay. If I want it to be a little bit smoother, I can double click it to open it and have that transition be a little bit longer. So, there we go. So Gaussian blur, and we switch over. Okay, and then a little cut. So you can mess around, see what's working for your video.